Welcome back to Real Repairs for Real Customers, where you get to ride along with a real mobile repair technician for whatever that's worth. Hey, at least we have Wayne and Jeannie's favorites, Volume 1 and 2, to listen to along the way. Now, last time we discussed the importance of doing quality work, and that being more important than doing fast work. However, we also highlighted that we want to do quality work in a timely fashion. We want to make good use of our time, invest our time wisely, and perhaps there's not a place that is more important than doing restaurant repairs. We have a limited window of time in restaurants from when they open to when customers come in to get our work done really quickly and efficiently. So we are headed today to a Zaxby's, which is a fast food restaurant here in the States. I didn't know anything about them, so I went and grabbed one of their sandwiches just so that I would know what they were all about. And you know, I try to look for the good in everything, and I find I'm happiest when I expect nothing but appreciate everything. So if you were really hungry, say starving, you would appreciate their grilled chicken sandwich. Other than that, I mean, the logo seems to indicate that chicken is their specialty. Well, maybe their logo needs updating. So here you go. Mr. Zaxby, I took care of that for you. So if you're ready to set about doing some repairs, come on in, buckle up. The rest of you guys will have to get in the back, but don't touch anything. Now, before heading out, my friends that are upholsterers have given me a swatch of this vinyl. They're going to be covering the end caps of the booths. And I have a starting color left over that we're going to see how this will work with this swatch. It's possible that this color was left over from that Queen Anne chair that we featured on the channel a while back. Anyhow, now that it's dried down, we can see the difference in the color. It looks a bit more red than our target. That's okay. Our target is rather orange. So we'll add some more yellow oxide and see how that will work for us. And that's pretty close. One thing we notice is that the swatch is very shiny. We can add a little bit of high gloss clear to our mixture already. And if necessary, we can top coat with the high gloss clear. Probably in the restaurant, the vinyl being used is not going to be quite as shiny, haven't been in use for quite some time. But we'll see when we get there. I'm going to add just a little bit more yellow oxide, and I think that'll put us on the money. And it did, and I like it so far. So one bit of confidence we have as we get to our job is that our color is probably usable as is. Any adjustments will be very minor, and therefore we're going to save ourselves a lot of time at the restaurant. They're unlocking the doors for us right at 8 o'clock, and customers start coming in at 10:30. So we have a limited time. I have 5 repairs on the booth seat backs. And this is by far the worst one, so I'm going to show that one. The others are dime size. There's one that's about the size of a quarter, but those are just straightforward vinyl repairs. Those are the easy ones, and they're also down low, out of sight pretty much. This, however, is large, and it's right up there where everybody can see it. So I'm going to get started with this one. The repair method, incidentally, just turns out to be the same as what we featured in our last video. That's just by coincidence. The situation here is that the vinyl has been cut, but also the foam has been cut all the way through. Now, quite often, When the vinyl is cut, the foam is no longer under compression, and so it tries to pop out of the cut, and it will raise the edges of the vinyl a little bit. This is a bit strange because in this one, even though the foam has been cut, it's just separated and it's not pushed up as much. In fact, the edges of the vinyl, because the vinyl is so tight top to bottom, the edges of the vinyl are actually curved down in. But it doesn't matter because in either case, if I use this baseball stitch, it will bring the vinyl to level. And it'll bring it right together. We discussed that in our previous video, so there's not any need to go into length on that. So it's just by coincidence we have the same kind of repair. But what's good for the channel is that we get to see its application in a restaurant setting. I don't believe we've featured any restaurant seat repairs yet on the channel, and so we needed to do that. So here you go. It's as if we're playing the same song, only a different venue, for all you guitarists out there. And what this repair means to me personally is that I can imagine in the early days something of this magnitude would be a bit intimidating for me, especially where it's highly visible like this. And it would pose a high level of difficulty for me in early times. However, now that I have a set method that I know that works, it doesn't bother me at all. In fact, I'm happy to have this method because I know from the very beginning exactly what it's going to look like when I finish. And I have that kind of confidence. So I'm feeling really good about having that damage to repair. And so are my friends who are there to reupholster the ends of the booths. In fact, here they are now, taking the end of this booth off to recover it. But I'm saving them lots of time because they don't have to do this backrest. As you can imagine, that's a good bit of upholstery there and a good bit of time that I'm saving them. So they're really happy to have me along to speed up their job for them. They are not doing any seat repairs at all, just the end caps to the booths. Now for phase 2 of our repair process, I'm using a rather viscous repair compound. We're working on a vertical surface, and this vinyl is rather thick as well. So we want something heavy-bodied. That way it not only stays in place, but it also mimics the feel of the thick vinyl when we're finished. I'm going to do one application that includes the entire repair area. And thereafter, we're going to break it down into smaller areas. We have discussed this in previous videos, how that it's important to just do a small area at a time. That way we have greater control of our repair. If we hit just a low spot at a time, we bring it up to level with the rest of the repair. And that avoids piling up a repair compound on top of what's already high and building up a big lump of repair compound that's higher than we really want it. So it might appear that I'm going over again and again and again, but really it's individual small spots that I'm hitting. It doesn't take all that much time, but it gives me way better control. I'm putting on only as much as I need to level out that spot. So I'm using a minimum of repair compound, again, avoiding building it up too much, but bringing all the low spots up to the rest of it. And it doesn't matter how well I think I've done. Putting the guide coat on here is going to show everything that I couldn't see before. It will reveal to me all the spots that need a little bit more attention. We expect that. We're happy to have that. So we're not repairing aimlessly. And we're also not putting our finished color on there before it's actually done. So this repair method is very deliberate. It might seem to be some time-consuming, but for me, the payoff is really a big deal. Certainly it shows that quality does not happen by accident, and quality doesn't come with speed necessarily. Again, as a follow-up to our last video, we're making a wise investment of time. Now, you will see that there are some really heavy grain spots in this vinyl from place to place, and I don't know that the area that I'm working on originally had any of that, so I'm not looking to duplicate those deep lines that occur randomly here. We're going to be content with whatever texture we get from our graining paper in this case. On this repair and on the other smaller repairs, I noticed that the color was still a little bit red and it was a little bit light. So I added 1 drop of green and a couple of drops of dark brown. And I ordered something from Amazon that I didn't need just to get this cardboard to mask with. Here we could spray with whatever we wanted to. We could use an airbrush, pre-val, we could use a paint gun. Just to expedite this job, I felt like I would just use a pre-val for these few spots. You'll notice I also put a drop cloth down on the seat cushion because if you're going to use a pre-val, you will have heavier droplets that will fall. Don't think everything is going to hit your target. So I'm happy with the color. I think it works quite well. It might not need any high gloss clear, but I have some, so I'm using that as well. just for good measure. Of course, both of these, the color and the clear, are cross-linked, and having a clear is going to help protect the pigmented color coat. We know they'll be coming across here with some cleaners on a regular basis. That clear is going to be tough. It's going to be solidified with the cross-linker, and so this will give it much more durability here in the restaurant setting. Looks good, feels good. We're done. So here's the setup for the other guys recovering these booth end caps. They didn't do all of them. I still had to go do some touch-ups on some of these booth ends as well. So we're going to do a walkthrough and just see the ones that I had to repair or recolor. We didn't take time to heat these indentations out. They just asked me to recolor it, and that was going to be fine. You will see an occasional screw where they didn't want to anchor on really well, and they're fine with leaving the screw visible as well. So there's a little taste of doing restaurant repairs for those of you who are not doing them now. I hope you found it interesting. So we're packed up and we're leaving right at 9:30. We took exactly an hour and a half. I do appreciate having you to ride along with me today. Keep me company. Thanks for watching.